What I'm going to do is I'm going to take our fields and I'm now going to generate a new field. So I'll go back into data. I've got my data. I don't want to look at the unauthorized files or fields, and we can see credit limit. I'm going to generate a new field because we're coming up to the year end and we want to have new credit limits. So I'm going to go in on my data, down to my manipulation. I've got all of these fields now from both files. So now I can say I want to append a new field. And my new field is going to be called new limit. It's a virtual numeric field. Okay. Because it's a virtual field, there is no length. It automatically calculates it. But it will have decimal places, and it will have 2 decimal places. Now, what is that virtual field? If I click on parameter, that takes me back into my equation editor. And my new limit is going to be my old credit limit times 1.1. I'm going to give all of my customers a 10% increase in their credit limit. So when I'm happy with that, I'll give it the big green tick. And I'm going to call it, I'm going to give it a description, which is updated credit limit. And I'll say OK on that. Tells me again that making changes to the database through field manipulation can cause anything based on that field. Now remember what's happening here. It's not changing the live data. And you can see immediately the new credit limit. Well, you can't actually, because the new credit limit is stuck over initially on the right-hand side. And because it's in blue, you can tell that this is a virtual field. Okay, as opposed to the black. This field does not exist. It's a virtual field. I'm going to move it so I can see the 2 of them side by side. Credit limit, new credit limit. And now what I can do is I can go through there and say, how about if the amount is greater than the new limit? Well, I could go through the whole thing. I could put that beside the amounts and then go through it and look for anything where that amount isn't equal to that. On the other hand, I don't have to. What I'm looking at the moment, remember, is I'm looking at this with a filter on it with that criteria. So what I'll do is I'll take that criteria off, clear it. I'm now looking at the whole file again. So now I've got 943 records to go through to check. That's quite a lot of records. What I can do instead is I can go into my data and say again I want to extract. But this time I'm going to go and do a data extraction based on the exceeded having exceeded a specific credit limit. Okay, so I'm going to say go in and do a direct extraction. I'm going to call it exceed credit limit. And I'm going to go into my equation editor and say it's going to exceed it when the amount sum is greater than my new limit. Now what's that going to tell me? is going to tell me I'm in the wrong file because I don't have amount sum. I hope everyone picked that one up. Why don't I have amount sum? Because I'm in customer balances. I need to get into those summarized transactions. There's my amount sum.